Hey, folks, welcome to the September 4th afternoon power hour update. Remember, don't risk money you can't afford to lose, because otherwise you're going to have to go back to work like me. So, INHD, we jumped in right around the 11, a little after 11, and IHND is making a great move. And like dummies, we jump in and we get stopped in the halt. And it was only 50 shares. Like I said, I only had like $900, and I was hoping that this thing it had room to go to 14, but say it isn't so, gorilla. So don't trade like a monkey. So this is a long video. I thought about cutting it, and I said, no, you know what? I'm going to let it go. Folks need to see the stupidity of this monkey here and see what he did. In the meantime, let's hear some soccer qualifying updates. So Spain looks like they're easily beating Bulgaria 3-0 in the 54th minute. The Orange Machine, the Netherlands, is beating Poland 1-0 at 50. And the surprise of the day, Slovakia is leading Germany in the second half at 52 minutes. Let's see who else. Belgium is beating Liechtenstein 2-0, which is expected in the 51 minute of play. Northern Ireland leads Luxembourg 2-1, which I think would be expected. And halftime, Cameroon is leading 3-0 over Eswatini. And there's a few others, but they are inconsequential. They're all inconsequential. And then after 2 o'clock, the games in the Americas will begin. And then we'll be watching those, which is a lot better than watching me lose money here. Oh, this is hilarious. Yeah, so the monkey's crying, the monkey's laughing at his stupidity. I'm going to have to go out and get a couple of hours worth of work between today and tomorrow to pay for this. Let's check what that does to our daily, to our calendar monthly, because now we're really set back. The reporting software doesn't want to update. Well, that's weird. Doesn't want to total it. Huge update from the soccer world. Slovakia just scored a second goal on Germany at the 55 minute. Wow. What a goal. Right in the top right, right left corner. All right, so the total damage for today is down $303.52. Nice odd number. Oh, cry. Yeah, we can't cringe. And let's see for the calendar. So we're not going to have as good a September as we did last year, I don't think. All right. So yeah, this reporting thing is like having issues. All right. So for the month, we're now down $193, so roughly $200. So got to find 3 hours worth of work somewhere. We can do that tomorrow. Okay, so what was I thinking, huh? All right, so there's those were the bad news. Now that we got the bad news out of the way, the good news is the trend reversal indicator is working. I actually held against what the indicator what was telling me to do, and that was part of the problem. So now that I at least know that much, I can trust the trend reversal indicator a little bit more. And that's this one up here that says reversal. And down here, reversal 783. So if you see it green, jump in. See it red, jump out. But as you'll see further on, let's say the reversal is very short-lived and it starts to come down, you may not make a whole lot of money because the reversal comes after the fact. And so let's say you had taken this trade at 783 and let's say this had reversed down to a little above 8. It start coming down. You might see some red bars and maybe a couple of green bars and then down. And then you'll see the reversal confirmation because it repaints, so it has to wait for a bar pattern to form. Once the pattern has formed, then it puts up the label. So there is a purple warning, but it doesn't always show up. When it does, it appears to be right on, or at least for this particular trade in IHND, it worked for me. So my thought here is it's up at 1094. It's got to surely reclaim and got to go back up. We're sitting at 1115. You know, there's got to be traders. There's got to be some big whales, hedge fund managers trying to bring in and make some money. And it's still the top gapper. And there it just fell out of the top gappers, which means volume died. And I think others saw the reversal pattern there, and it goes along. I said, well, why? Somebody might ask, well, why do you need a reversal, trend reversal? I don't want to have to memorize bar chart patterns. I think that's just superfluous and way too much. It just doesn't make sense. If you can have a way to have it tell you, then you might as well have it tell you. So, you know, yeah, you might lose a few cents if you had. So let's look at it. If you had gotten up here, right around. Let's see, where's the? Let's say 1040, and then you don't get the reversals until 1026, then you're going to be in a losing trade. But if you got in at 1040 and you see a higher day and they met big red bar, even if you waited through this bar and the reclaim, you should be selling up there anyway. So it's just a matter of doing the right things. And here I was looking at the volume, the awesome oscillator in the 5 minutes still has green bars there, but we can see in the volume indicator that the volume is dwindling down and the MACD is underneath. So at this point, it becomes a waiting game. Oh, sorry, I gotta go back to that. On one screen, I'm watching the soccer game. On the other screen, I'm watching Premiere while I narrate. Yeah, these I think these soccer qualifiers are not one game matches. I think they're going to be multiple matches. So, well, I think Germany can certainly come back and win some of the other games. I don't go for either team, so I mean, it's just. But I enjoy soccer, especially when it's related to the World Cup, and since the World Cup will be here next year, I believe. It'd be nice to see. Well, I mean in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, I think. And it'd be nice to see those countries come out and show their best stuff and the ambience that soccer fans bring to the table. So here we begin to think that it's going to consolidate. We look at the Zurich MACD, and it looks like it's starting to pick up. Like and subscribe. Gorilla Trading, the stubborn trader. So the Zurich MACD begins to recover there, and the MACD looks like it isn't going to go as deep. So we say, what the heck? Let's continue. And I was too lazy days ago today, I think, and the fact that and you heard me in this morning's recap referring to Monday and Tuesday when it was actually Tuesday and Wednesday, and the fact that I think that made money on those 2 days, giving me a cushion, made it a lot easier for me to just not be too worried or be a lot more alert or careful as to the trades that I took. But I saw a couple of other YouTubers do videos, and they did well. And it looks like the play was BBLG at $2. If you bought BBLG at around 215, 220, and that was the good play, and you sold out at 280, 80 cents, that was a great play. So it's about timing. I was late this morning. I was groggy. All the excuses, and they're not meant to be excuses. They're just conditions. And much like I'm talking about sports, and you have an athlete. An athlete goes out there, right? Let's say in a tennis match. An athlete has to prepare. They have to psych themselves up, and they have to go out there. And in any sport, really, especially when it's a single player, right? So that's the reason I refer to tennis. A single player, or a chess player. You really have to be in a good mental state to go out there and face an opponent. Otherwise, you're going to get wrecked. And trading is much the same way. So it's all about the psychology. So what am I looking at here? I'm looking at all the EMA indicators. They look like they're still not flatlined. They look like they're moving up. It looks like the red bars on the MACDs are picking up. The flags I see is the fourth bar on the 5 minute red bar, which hasn't closed yet. The red bar on volume on the awesome oscillator, which says a lot of sales. On the 133 tick chart down in the bottom left hand corner, the trend is downward and very red. The active trader window, it has reduced. If you see at the quantities out there of folks bidding and asking, they're in this, well, there's one, only the double digits are on the, oh no, there comes another one. They're just low quantities. But the stock still looks like it could pick up. And since this gorilla knows better than that trend reversal pink label up there, we're going to hold. So I think today I joined the club of YouTubers that lose a lot of money, and I've only got a small account. So I think when it started the day, we had $2,400, $2,471. We lost 303. So you figure we're back to 2,100. So no false advertising here. We're still trading with a 2K account. We can't, if we near 2,500 or 3K, then it's false advertising. We can't have that, right? Somebody asked the question, so what's the objective of a 2K account? The objective was to begin it, was not a challenge, but I guess it is a challenge, to do and perform day trading. One, to learn, so you know what to do. And there are courses out there that can teach you this, but they cost thousands of dollars, not only for the initial fee, but then per month. So what I've been doing is paying the market to teach me. And these are the lessons that I have to learn. And looking at my overall drawdown, which is about $2,000, that's what I've spent on my education so far of day trading. So I don't look at it as a real negative loss. I figure it's payment, whether I'm paying it to the stock market or whether I'm paying it to someone else. And the problem with paying someone else is that you're not going to get a true one-on-one mentorship. You're going to have a whole community, yes, but sometimes the communities can be a little distracting. That's one of the things I discovered. You're running a Discord and you've got 5-6 people talking over each other and making their own selections. They're making their selections based on what they see on their screen, what their particular condition is. And by the time they're typing it in chat or speaking through chat, giving you a hint, the stock has already moved microseconds. And as with anything on the web, whether it's Discord or YouTube or anything else, there's going to be a delay. And I did see some lag in Think or Swim today. Actually, I saw quite a bit of lag. And it shows up every once in a while where the time and sales and the level 2 are updating, and so is the active trader and the watch list. Those are the ones that update the fastest. But the chart is about 5-10 cents behind, and it seems to get stuck. Now I don't know if it's my that trend reversal indicator, which is a complex script. I'll have to test that. Maybe take it off, but I didn't see it that yesterday or the day before, and it all was working fine. So yesterday we had the problem with time and sales. Today we see a little bit of lagging, and I think I saw someone in Discord say that they also had lagging. I don't run the Discord and check it while I'm trading. I go back after the fact and I look through what people have said. Except yesterday when time and sales was down, I did go on there to get some confirmation before I contacted Thinkorswim support. So hopefully we got our biggest loss of the month out of the way, and then we'll try to improve and crawl back up again. I think that's an even better challenge because it really puts it into perspective that now, stop this 200 share buys way at the top. And that's one of the things that we did differently today. Today we were kind of gung-ho. Instead of jumping in with 1, 2, 5 shares, 10 shares, and then looking at the result. All right, what are the score updates? So we're in the 70th plus minute, and Slovakia is still up 2-0 over Germany. The Orange Machine, Netherlands, still 1-0 over Poland. Spain and Bulgaria still Spain 3-0. Belgium has increased their lead to 5-0, which is expected. And Northern Ireland is also up 3-1. So they scored another goal on Luxembourg. I know. You didn't come to the stock market to hear soccer updates, but yeah, well, my channel. And this is going to be a long, boring video, right? So we got to keep you guys entertained with something. So here now it's 11:29. Quite a bit of time has gone by since we took the trade. We're up to about 20 minutes plus of the trade, and we're down $100, but that has to do with the fact that we bought 80 shares. And the funniest thing was, I don't know if you noticed, but I buy 10 extra shares, and the reversal comes on, and the stock goes down. It's like coincidental that me buying 10 shares brings the stock down, right? But there might be thousands and thousands of other traders out there who were behaving the same way. Yeah, monkey see, monkey do. So while we get a chance to talk about TradePicks, the YouTube channel. So what's the purpose? We'll continue on. It was about learning. We see the trend reversal just kicked in, and this is a good opportunity to see if it's going to work. And that's why I stay in here. I said, well, you know what? Pay to play, right? So I started trading learning last May. Went live in September. Had a good month of September, earning over $400, and then lost in October, November, and December. And the first 4 or 5 months of this year, we had really losing months over $400. And then we finally, in May, we started bringing that down, May, June, and July. And then in August, we finally had a winning green month. Barely, just barely. But we escaped through a slow month, and we were green. So what were we expecting from September? I think I've said it in a couple of videos. Between the 1st and the 13th, on those business days that the market is open, I didn't expect much. And then from the 13th through the 17th will be speculation about what the Fed's going to do, how much of a cut they're going to authorize. And then beyond that, we'll see what happens. And I think that whether it's large caps, mid caps, small caps, the SPY, NVIDIA, all of that is the stock market, right? Rolled into one. And no matter how you look at it or where you trade, it has an effect on the market and whether it's bearish, bullish, and the economy, and whether companies are going to be put out positive news, put out news that matter, and whether buyers, us, are going to be influenced enough to jump in. So here we recovered down from $100. We that purple line there is the 200, I believe, and it's recovered and it bounces back up again. And even though we're losing, it is still decent. We're at the $0.50 mark. It's a good opportunity for it to pick up. We're at 11:33, perhaps not yet close to the closing of the market, but we're moving up, and the indicators below are starting to show positive. And so we plan on a long hold for this one to see if we would get back up there. And we had a terrible fill. That's another thing that I did see on the trades today. This one filled me in at 10.57, and that was only because I think I bought 30 other shares. But earlier in the day, I got filled at one. What was it? There was a stock that filled me in at 24 cents, whatever the dollar amount was, 24 cents, and it quickly dropped $20, and it didn't look like it had that much of a spread. And I think it was the delay. So whatever is happening between my station, my home, and the internet, and wherever the Schwab server is that's receiving my indications, it's a problem. So I think tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for that to see how much lag. Look at, I know the patterns. The patterns that we had this morning was just a no trade day. I don't know why I did it, but I think I have to pay more attention and be more disciplined about that. So here, that wick tells us it's a reversal. And we see it before the trend reversal actually publishes its label. So at this point, what's the reason? Well, the volume for one, two red bars. The MACD is starting to curl slightly down instead of going back up. On the direct MACD, we see a darker green bar. and the on the 5 minute, the volume bars on the awesome oscillator are starting to show higher, and on the 133 tick chart, we're also going down, and the 5 minute has also labeled a reversal at 9:57. So we're at 9:42. At this point, we should have gotten out at the height of that tailweight candle. So there's the reversal, see? So now you get out at 9:36, 9:39, but it still shows signs of green there. And at this point, we opt to stay with the hold. We're thinking if it can consolidate at 9:30, then it has a possibility close to the to 1 o'clock to go back up. We're just going to check right now, and it closed at $8.20. And in after hours, it's up to 8.59. And I thought about that. I said, well, you know what? This is the type of stock that may attract different type of buyers and may go up after hours. And sure enough, around it's consolidating around 8.50. But it doesn't look like it's going to go higher. It looks like it's just going to sit there. And let's take a look at the other ones. Let's take a look at the updates there. So the SPY didn't. The jobs report didn't face it at all. So let's see what the SPY did. It looks like it closed around 648, 649. And it's there with a high of still 649.53 in the let's change this to the 1 hour. Yeah, so the SPY is doing well. From 644 to 649. So I don't think we're going to see a reversal. And now let's take a look at NVIDIA. So here, finally, the reversal comes in and proves it, and it headed towards VWAP. Yeah, NVIDIA is still at 171, consolidating there, so it's hanging out. I don't think the job news are going to be a big issue. Let's take a look at crypto. Bitcoin pulled back to 110. Ethereum is at 4,300, and XRP pulled a little back to 280. Yeah, I bought some XRP at the dip around 270. So here it goes into a halt. And what I'm thinking is, well, yeah, you know, selling off at 843 might come back down a little bit, and then reclaim and go back up again. Look at that. Gold is down to 36. Interesting. So there's more confidence in the stock market. All right, with 5 minutes left to play and whatever the referee adds Germany's still losing 2-0 to Slovakia. In 84th minute, Poland has tied it with the Netherlands, so they're 1-1. All the other ones remain the same. Remembering the great German teams of the 70s. Jürgen Klinsmann, Lothar Matthäus. Players, great players. Yeah, folks, so this is what a halt looks like. And let's see, 42.33, and I think that the resumption was around 44 something. So we had a good opportunity here to see the trend reversal at work and to see the indicators giving us information, and we should have taken it and moved on. And the gappers, we really are not seeing too much of a change. I mean, there's no stock there moving up. HWH is trying to make noise, but it just isn't moving as much. One of the issue I got to figure out with the gapper is with the gap up a watch list is that it, for example, IHND is number 2 on that list because of price action, because it's going down. It'd be nice if there'd be a way to, other than just showing it the prices in red, to show a watch list that only shows if they're green and only if they're red. That way, if you're short, you want to see the red ones. If you're green, you want to see only the ones moving up. I haven't quite figured that out. I got to look up, do a little bit more programming. Just haven't had the time. So here we're down $171. I mean, plus another 132. That's $300 right there. You know, we're at the VWAP. Who knows? You know, let's look for a dead cat bounce. I don't know what qualifies as a dead cat bounce. I mean, how high the price has to rebound in order for it to be called a dead cat bounce. But does it have to go ballistic? And remember, the chart lines are just they're actually not physical barriers. They're range. There's a range up and top and below. So that's what I was hoping for here. So it'll hit VWAP and it'll just bounce and pick itself back up again. And sure enough, it does bounce. And it's actually a very nice bounce. If you started to watch this video and you're here at the 40th minute, you should like and subscribe. The likes are absolutely free. They don't cost you anything. I don't spam subscribers with information, with announcements. I'm not monetized, so there shouldn't be any ads. You should not see any ads. But you should help me out. Subscribe, then hit that like button. I'm not, to go back to the YouTube channel, I'm not doing the YouTube channel to make money. One of the things I believe in life is that no matter what type of knowledge you have, or you earn, or you learn, or you're learning, when you share that information with others, when you can explain it to others, when you can take that data and break it down in a way that others can understand, and sharing that knowledge, what's going on in my head while I'm trading, helps me become a better trader, helps me learn more. And I've been thinking about it since this beginning of this year, that I was losing, that I was going to do this, but I did not realize how much it is helping me to actually sit here and rewatch the video, and I'll watch it twice. So, well, actually three times. Once when I record it, but I'm paying attention to all the indicators. Two, when I put the video together in Adobe Premiere, I'm not professing Adobe, I don't get paid. So when I put it together in the video editor software, I have to watch it. And when I narrate, I put all the video together and the screens, and then I go back and I just narrate by itself and do the voiceover. And when I do that, I sit here and I watch it again, and it points out things to me that I should have been paying attention to. And repetition helps. It's important. And unlike, there's other things in life that you can learn and have reference to. I'll give you an example. I worked in information technology for many years, and so I had to learn programming languages. And naturally, when you think of learning a spoken language, it's a memory thing. You have to take that vocabulary, the alphabet, and you have to actually learn it, put it somewhere in your brain. With computer languages, whether they're a tiny language, like let's say an HTML for creating web pages, which is very small, or an SQL, which is used in structured query language, which is used to query databases for information, their vocabulary is relatively small. And the complexity in the SQL is building that algorithm that pulls the data out of different tables to show it to the end user. Other languages are a little bit more complex. Whether you're talking about old languages like COBOL, which was the business language of the 70s, 60s, and 70s for many of the mainframes that ran the banks, and I believe that they're still running, and air traffic controller systems, or some of the more modern language like C, and more complex basic languages like assembler. Assembler is, when you program in assembler, you actually program in bits and bytes. So the game is over, and Slovakia has beaten Germany, and Slovakia is celebrating, as they should. But so we'll have to look toward the next date and see what happens. Strelec at the 55-minute mark, and Hanko at the 42-minute mark scored for Slovakia. Congrats to the Slovaks. And going back, so learning the language that is more complex like C, it makes it very difficult. You're going to learn the basics. PHP is another one that's used throughout the internet, or JavaScript, and there are higher end derivatives that utilize JS as their base. You know, whether it's React or any of the others out there. So you have to spend time learning them. And one of the things that I learned was, so as not to make it difficult, it was easier to not have to remember every single vocabulary word of every computer language that you have to work with. There are some very complex ones like Pascal and RPG. Very small vocabularies, but very difficult to write. JavaScript, I think, is one example to those languages. But JavaScript, I think, has a larger vocabulary, and it's certainly a lot more complex when you're building the algorithms. But programming by reference is a concept that I think works best. And I learned that because before there was internet, there was a programming language called Clipper, which is a DBase clone. And what I did was I bought this big old thick book, about 400, 500 pages, and I used to carry it in the trunk of my car. And I used it for reference. So whenever I needed to build an algorithm that went above and beyond the basics of, opening a file, closing a file, I used that Clipper Bible to reference and read through the book until I find the right syntax and build the algorithm. Nowadays, everything's on the internet, and with AI agents, everything is really handily there. So you can ask an AI agent to build a skeleton frame for you, and then go back in and modify it. And if you need language reference, you can just go look it up and says, how do I do this in this language? And you get the information back, and then you can work through it. So you don't have to memorize it anymore. And that's one of the best ways that I've learned as you get older, that you don't have to memorize everything and you can quickly learn. On the stock market, though, when you're day trading, learning the intricacies of day trading, you cannot do it by reference. You cannot do it if somebody tells you, if that label turns red, don't buy or quickly sell. You can't. I don't think AI agents work. I've seen many YouTube videos of folks professing that they're using AI. I don't see how that's possible, how you could integrate them. I guess I'd have to look at and see what Python code they're using and see if they're tying it into the software, because that's the only way I see it, that you would have to have an AI agent that can actually have access to your software real time and be able to see what you're doing and then quickly make those decisions. But basically, that's what the indicators do now. So I'm hoping that in the future, the companies that put together day trading software will incorporate AI into their interfaces to the point where you can just build an agent that it's able to help you based on your requirements. But then again, the agents are not going to make the ultimate decision that makes you push a buy or a sell button. You have to do that yourself. And whether I'm in a room by myself or whether I'm in a room with 10 others who are actually trading, they're concentrating on their own thing. They don't want to be yelling out at me saying, hey, gorilla, buy this now. While it can certainly work in a very bullish environment where the stock is moving up or moving up slowly enough to where you can jump in, maybe. But I don't think it's sustainable for a large amount of traders. So we see a nice pickup here, and reversal is telling us at 889. And we start to pick up and move upwards But at this point, I'm not going to sell. And the reason I'm not selling is because this is only moving me up about $25. So I'm down $300. I'm going to be down 280. You know, $20, sure, but it isn't going to make a difference. For me to really feel comfortable, I would have to have this closer to 980 or 999 because I got filled pretty high up there at 1057. So losing 50 cents on 80 would be $30. So I would feel more comfortable. I don't feel comfortable that $20 is going to make me rich or make me poor. So I continue to watch, but the indications are here that this breakthrough is short-lived. And that's because even though the Zurich is saying, oh, it's near the bottom, it's moving up, we see two dark green candles there. The volume on the awesome oscillator in the 5-minute is moving down. The green bars on the 5-minute, yeah, they reclaimed up to about 3/4 of that red bar, but they have long tail wicks. On the 1-minute, that green bar next to this red bar has a long tail wick. And here we get another green bar, but unless this green bar engulfs that red bar altogether, this stock will head down. But it is only 11:58, and what I've seen is while there are increases in some stocks at this time, you really have to wait till about 12:30 or even a quarter of 1 o'clock before they start moving up. The bad thing about it is that INHD has fallen off the gap up list, and there's another watch list I have that you don't have it here, which is where I look at the RSI for activity, and in that watch list, INHD has fallen from the top to about the 8th stock in with regards to activity is concerned. I'm thinking I should add that. I'll add that tomorrow so you guys can see it. The RSI. But here I'm thinking, you know what? I'm already down. I held through that drop below VWAP. So why won't I hold here? Now, in retrospect, looking at this bar pattern there, flag pattern, that's bear. Now I see it. It's bear, bearish. It's not. There's nothing about that that's going to send us bullish back to 940 or 960. But this is what I was expecting. This is this kind of push. So here, even with that big push, I'm still down 287 on the day. Oh yeah, this is where I buy 10 more shares. So take a look at this. What happens? I buy 10 shares. And this was funny as hell. I was laughing my ass off. I bought 10 shares and broke the stock price. So I've already held, down to around 812. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. From here, 8-9, even if it falls back to 8-10, what am I going to lose, 20, 30 bucks? And that's what was going through my head. But that's a bad attitude to have. I should have been thinking, hey, I only have this amount of money. This is what I have. And the goal should be to try to get from 2,500 to 3,000 and 3,500 and upwards. That's ultimately the goal. And if I fall below 2,000, what I do is I add. I found that trading with any amount under 2,000 is just not worth it. 2,200, I think, is the sweet spot that allows you that if you lose, let's say, $30 in the morning, and you've only used half the cash available, you can still try to recover. But with 1,500, you're highly limited. You can take maybe 2 trades, 3 trades, and they're going to be very small. They're not going to accumulate and make you earn money. With $500, there's just no way. It's not going to happen unless you have margin. And for a cash account, I see margin as a problem. If you have to trade on margin on a cash account, I think you're just going to get into trouble. I with a smaller account, with a smaller amount, I ran into issues where I didn't do the math, and I overtraded by $600. And while Schwab allows you to go through with it, you have to put that money in. So right after I noticed that I traded, I was green, but I was on $600, I was $500 under or over the settled amount. I had to go in and I had to send my $600 to make it last. So that red tail up at the top there is saying GTFO. But the stubborn gorilla just will not let up. It's 12:04 now. And we're thinking maybe the whales are still out there and they want to come out and buy some of this. And to confess to you guys, I know this stock had news, but I didn't even look at the news. I have no idea what the news were. I really didn't care whether the news were good or bad. I figured, you know what? The jobs report wasn't as bad. People are going to like the report and they're going to move in. But I think people are waiting for tomorrow morning still. I think it just gave them more reason to question. So here's the purple label that I was talking about. So that purple label says reversal at 912, which means it's going down. But the smart, stubborn gorilla knows better. On the 5-minute chart, we've got 5 green bars, 6 almost if this one hasn't closed. And at 902, we're in distance within 10 bucks. I mean, it's only 80 cents. We're looking for a nice large push. Another one of those green bars there that we had like around 11:53 or so, or right before 12. Another nice green bar there. It can take us to 980. But volume's anemic. Level 2 is not pushing through. And I'm letting this video go because there's another point of reference that I want to share with you. And it's about to come up. And we've only got, 8 minutes left in the video? less than 10 minutes. So if you're still watching at this point, stick around. Yeah, because at this point, there's nothing else left to say other than, are we learning something? There's got to be a takeaway from all of this. Otherwise, those $193 have no value. And well, some could argue, well, you could use those $200 a month to pay someone else for a trading program or for access to their software or something. I'm not only going to pay them 200, but then I'm going to lose 200 on top of that. That's a straight $400 outlay per month. For a small account, it doesn't make sense. And while I have no problem doing it, the objective is that one of the reasons that I'm sharing this is because I know that there's other folks out there who are trading on the small cash account and who cannot afford as well to pay someone else $200. Many of these YouTubers that profess and they claim they make thousands of dollars, or some of the other YouTubers that sell you trading programs, they'll tell you they're the best. They'll tell you they're doing it well. They'll tell you they have the better strategy. All the while, they're taking your money. And I don't know what the percentage is, but my feeling is, as difficult as I've discovered day trading to be, uh, I think that the success rate is probably low. And I'm even going to venture to say that it's probably under 10%. I'll have to look that up and see if I doubt any statistics exist. Maybe I should call up one of these stock traders that have trading programs and ask them to provide proof of what their statistic is. But even the successful folks that they profess online, I think I saw one where the guy was showing somebody who had gone through their learning program, and the guy themselves was saying, it took me over 2 years of trading before I got up to the point where I could trade. He did acknowledge that there were people coming and going before him who learned a lot quicker, but it took him 2 years. So imagine paying someone over $300, $400 a month for 2 years, plus whatever you lose. So I see the stock hanging around 870, and I'm thinking that it is settling in into this new channel. And it looks like it has settled close to that. It's at 865 right now in aftermarket hours, barely moving. Let's see what the news was. They entered into some strategic cooperation with New Life Technology on the development of a cutting-edge business-to-business marketplace platform. So they're probably an online uh, digital technology. Let's see. Oh, interesting. So they're manufacture, market, and sell steel-based construction technologies in the U.S. They offer cold-formed steel framing, and that includes prefabricated homes. They also do research consultation, training, market research, and business development. So I assume that if they entered into a partnership, is that the other company is going to provide a portal, a B2B portal for them so that their customers can buy from them. They're based in Texas. But they only have 4 full-time employees. So float of the stock at 7 million. So we're almost done. And what I'm thinking here, and the reason I'm moving up, I'm moving the screen around, is so that you can see how the big zigzag lines are showing. The big line, big move up, big move down, a medium size move up, medium size down. Then they've got this sloped 45-degree angle move up, which slows growth, and then the same type angle coming down. And here I'm thinking, oh, maybe we can get a double cat bounce here, dead cat bounce. Well, we got no dead cat bounce, we got a dead cat. And at this point, I'm very tired, and I rest my mouse and the pointer on the flatten now button, and my brain unconsciously tells my finger to press it, and I sell. So that's the update. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now I have to trade tomorrow and see what we can do, see if we can get at least 10, 15 bucks, or I got to go get a job to pay back the $193 that I lost today, and I'm down for the month. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, guys. Questions, comments, whatever hate you have in your life, if you want to leave it, go right ahead. Doesn't bother me at all. Have a great evening. I don't think I will put an evening watch list today. I think I'm done. I was doing better when I wasn't putting it together. Anyway, happy trading, and be careful tomorrow morning. Don't overstep boundaries that you can't afford to lose.